Our next speaker is Esteban Campa. He's also a graduate student in the Department of Kinesiology, and his topic today will be focusing on the combination of faith-based initiatives and community outreach to motivate participation in new communities.
So today I'm going to talk about how I, along with 100 citizens, are going to reach the potential of a community within South Los Angeles and many other communities across the nation. But before I do that, let me give you a little backstory on myself, just to give you an idea of how I got to this point and how potential has had that big impact on me. So Esteban, where do you see yourself in 10 to 15 years? Do you plan on pursuing a higher education? What is my capacity? Do I have potential? These are some of the questions that I was asked by many and by myself, and frankly, I didn't know how to answer them. As humans, we are all a product of our environments, and the choices we make stem from life experiences and those who influence us. What if I was to tell you that I am currently living a lifestyle and pursuing life goals that would seem otherwise based on my life circumstances and the experiences that I've endured? Now let me give you some perspective. Who knew that this first generation, Mexican American, from a low socioeconomic background, from a working class single parent household with 5 kids at that, would make it to see the day of being a military veteran and having a bachelor's of science degree? And now in graduate school. I did. So, contrary to my expected fate, I fought to live a better life, to achieve my goals by controlling my own destiny and empowering myself. I had faith in myself and my potential. So, potential, let me just help you define just a little bit. It's been defined as self-actualization, improvement, achieving one's greatness. I define it as having or attaining a better tomorrow. Now, to give you more perspective, let me give you another example of a perfect person who had faith and potential, but of course for a nation. Here, we have John F. Kennedy in the year of 1962. He was at Rice University, and he was giving a speech. In this speech, he wanted to persuade the American public to support his space program, because at that time, he believed that he would be able to put a man on the moon and return him back safely within a decade. Now, the notion was crazy. It was bold, but Kennedy did believe that this would make America greater. He believed in the potential of the citizens within the United States to make this happen. For a better tomorrow, not just for oneself, for others, but for the whole world. And this is what he said during his speech. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. So, as you all know from history, it successfully happened. We sent a man to the moon and returned back safely. And unfortunately, our president wasn't there to see it happen. So, this is part of his inaugural speech, John F. Kennedy, in the year of 1961, and it's a message that I've really followed in my adult life, in my military years, in my undergrad, my work with 100 citizens, and now in my graduate work. I do step back and I tell myself, ask not what my country can do for me, but what I can do for my country. So, I have 100 citizens. Where do I see it in 10 to 15 years? Do I see its potential? I do. I believe we can have this program nationwide in less than a decade. Now, some people do think that I'm crazy, but do y'all think I'm crazy? No. Then I am in good company. So, why go to South LA? I've currently started the program in South Los Angeles, specifically in the Westmont, West Athens communities. And of course, well, why bother? You know what I say? Why do I wake up in the morning every single day? Why do I always have faith in my potential? Why have I always believed in that? But frankly, well, why did America go to the moon? Because 100 Citizens believes in the greatness of communities such as the ones in South LA. So currently, health disparities are some of the greatest challenges that Los Angeles is facing. It is most significant within both the African American and Latino communities in the Westmont, West Athens communities relative to others in South LA. And in fact, within both of these different communities, they have the greatest rates of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, the greatest rates in adult and in childhood obesity. How many of you knew that the greatest rates for cause of death in South Los Angeles are cardiovascular disease and diabetes? Yeah. Well, fortunately, many of these chronic diseases and their long-term consequences can be maintained or delayed. Health behaviors such as increasing physical activity or just eating healthier can reduce the likelihood of attaining one of these diseases. So here we have Helen Keller Park. This is my park, my community. The program will not work unless the participants in the surrounding communities believe in it and actually participate. This is where the outreach begins. So I had to step back and ask, how am I going to develop a successful outreach plan that will increase the rates of the participation rates at this kind of program? So I have to become culturally competent. I have to develop a community-sensitive outreach plan that intends to target the faith-based organizations and community-based organizations as well. Now, some of you may ask, well, why faith-based organizations? It has been identified that within the African American and Latino communities, the churches is very, very important. And current research has indicated certain key elements to make a successful faith-based intervention. And, just so you know, a lot of those elements are part of the 100 Citizens program. Some of those elements are providing a trustful and positive health value program, providing accessibility, having facilities to do these kinds of programs. But most importantly for our participants is providing this social environment with individuals that have patience for them. So that's part of the reason why they do love us. So what have I done so far? So far, I've currently established partnerships with community leaders, people who are highly respected in their communities, with some of the participants in our program who are churchgoers, and also some of which have their own programs within the communities. And with community-based organizations such as Community Coalition, the Los Angeles Metropolitan Churches, and First 5 LA. But a very important one you see on the end of the screen is Cal State Dominguez Hills. That's a key partnership because once us CSUN students that are currently there in South LA are graduated and we move on to what's next, they will create the sustainability of this program. Their kinesiology program will keep it sustainable because they will continuously train students to provide this kind of program. So, this is the easy part. There were previous steps that I had to take in order to get to the park level, to this point. I had to attend the initial partnership meeting with Community Coalition, assemble a team of South LA graduate students to go to South Los Angeles, order exercise equipment, identify a park, and of course, initiate the program. So you see, there were not any guidelines for me to do this kind of outreach. There weren't. I had to empower myself and teach myself, and more importantly, have faith in myself and my potential that I could do something like this. Because it hasn't been easy. So, neighborhoods can promote healthier lifestyles. And they can do so by having access to affordable and healthy foods and providing safe places for physical activity, such as, well, their local parks. So now, what role can you all have in having some impact in the world? I want you all to think to yourselves, what am I good at? What can I do to impact the world and cause some positive change? What can I do to have some impact in someone's life? Take that, have faith in yourself. Importantly, understand that you have the potential. It's been reflective on myself, and obviously with John F. Kennedy, with what I presented. And in retrospect, and in respect to our president, we choose to expand across the US. We choose to expand across the US, and not because it's easy, because we want a healthier and longer living tomorrow. And with you and myself, this is what I want you to follow. Alone, we can do so little, but together, we can do a lot more.